Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm here to talk a bit about technology and what it means for HR. We first start to give you a couple of inspirations on trends, hopefully trends that you don't know, then implications on the future of work we have just shown, so I'll keep that short. And then to give you a couple of examples what we in Deutsche Telekom do as part of HR. My role actually today is not to bash HR, is not to say how bad HR is. I hope at the end of the session you can say, wow, I have maybe 2-3 inspirations, what I can take with me and what I can do within my HR unit, if you haven't done already. So let me see if this is working. If we talk about digitization, if we talk about digital transformation, be it in HR, be it in business, be it in economy, be it in the society, at the end of the day, it's centered around these 10 technologies and how these 10 coordinate and cope and orchestrate together. In most of the cases, it's a combination of those, and they have implications on processes, on culture, on values, on principles. Let me give you a couple of examples. First one, recently launched, is if you have a touch smartphone, which most of you will have, this solution, by the way how you use your smartphone, how you press it, how you type it, which gaps you take and breaks you do, it analyzes your behavior and can give you an indication for burnout. The second one is if you do Fitbit, you all look very fit. I don't know if you use it or if you don't use it. So if you have Fitbit or FitnessPal and any calorie counters, this one is machine learning, is latest camera technology. Actually, you can use your mobile phone on it. You just take the photo of your food and then it gives you calorie counter and break it down. The next version of this app will even give you recommendations. Hey, you had pizza already yesterday. What about salad today? Are you really sure you want to have pizza? Then I recommend you do a walk thereafter. So this is combining, and the machines and the technology behind it is getting more and more intelligent. And the third one is highly interesting. I like that really well. I really saw it in the prototyping. While I'm speaking, instant translation into the language that you have in your own voice. Isn't that amazing? So, the previous reader was talking about it. Have a look to the internet, KNACK, K-N-A-C-K, play it. It's a gamified play, but HR technology behind it. So there's analytics behind it. And by the way you play those 3 games, it gives you a skill assessment without interview, without job survey, without checklist. Just play the games and you get a skill assessment and you get even recommendations if you want. And some companies like AXA and others are using this as a new sourcing way for recruitment to hire talents which we would usually not identify, maybe because language is a barrier. And this one, Facebook working on sensor technology to be combined with Facebook Messenger. So before you even type something, Facebook knows what you would type. Okay, this one has been launched in the US. If you want to watch football or any other sports, you can do it in virtual reality. So you don't need to sit next to your friends. You can have an evening, a socializing evening together based on virtual reality. This is going where technology, where software, hardware is going together, where, for example, this one controls how you're standing, if you have back problems, and so on. And the third one is an area which I'm going to show you now, where you even wouldn't have never thought about performance tracking, analytics, and stuff like that. So that means for a telecommunications company, most of the things are in beta phase, so they are prototypes, they are not being able to be industrialized, for the reason because it's all real-time transmission. The moment when I'm sitting in a drone and 20 meters ahead is a skyscraper, I would want my drone, who is not carrying intelligence, the intelligence is with the data center, I would want my drone to give me very quickly a decision, and are we going up, left, right? Otherwise, I hit the building. So all this needs transmission, needs communication. That's why 5G And I think I'm in a country which is extremely aware of that. So where 5G, where real-time transmission, where super intelligent data centers is really the core of this digital world. So what does it mean for the future of work? It means that wherever people are, we heard this, artificial workforce, wherever people are with repetitive, standardized mass production activities, be it in manufacturing, be it in office areas, this is going to evaporate and being replaced by machines. Because there is no prediction that these types of job activities should be done through humans. Even if you have local laws that prevent the introduction of machines, you will have a productivity issue and a GDP issue if you're not following this trend. So this will come. The other one is that the place of production, the place of value creation is becoming more and more independent from where you work, particular, of course, for office-related and intellectual-related work. This is a new, let's say, a new requirement from the new talents, from the new generation, to work literally from anywhere, which means for the employer, for HR, for IT, you need to provide your workforce with mobile devices, with connectivity, with methods and competences to be able to work virtually and collaborate virtually together. It means that the workforce will be added by artificial intelligence. We have to, today in the US, where regulation is not so strict as in Europe, we have a couple of examples where in the advisory board, there is also already artificial intelligence. So final strategic decisions are being recalculated throughout artificial intelligence. And we're gonna have this type of interaction in between man and machine more and more. So this is a huge challenge and also a huge opportunity for HR to determine and to design this relationship. This relationship, by the way, is not human is the boss, machine is the obedient. We will have different relationships, and even today we have areas where performance setting, where target management is provided by machines. So in a way, machines will take over the role of a supervisor. It means that wherever humans work in organization, and this is the key factor for differentiation today and in future, we will have project-based organizations because line organizations, standard activities will remove within the next 5 to 10 years. So project organizations require different skills. It is not possible to have a silo organization and do your work, be it in HR, be it in marketing, be it in IT, on your own. Even today in HR, every of our HR projects requires involvement from IT, from legal, from data security, from marketing, from customer service, from facility management, administration, and so on. So we will have different skills even today. It means that the approach of companies towards innovation is a different one. You cannot put it into a silo, into a research and development area, and hope something is going to happen. The new world is that of partnering. If we talk about corporates partnering with startups, if we talk about crowd collaboration where you induce innovation throughout your own employees and need to find processes, platforms, incentive systems to allow this type of collaboration. And it means also collaboration with customers or non-customers. You as a company, you want to understand why are people not buying your service. It means for the future workforce that permanent learning, that acquisition of new skills, that coping with digital age challenges is under your own responsibility. We have such a complex world. No HR career plan, no training curriculum in the world, be it for executives, for leaders, for managers, for employees, for experts, will be able to cope with these challenges because you have such a variety. Everyone has to be responsible for their own self-development. It means for managers, if people work from home, if you have teams spread over 12 offices, if you have time zone issues, if you have complex teams, if you have freelancers, if you have employees from different units, you need to expose new leadership skills. This is blank spot today, because if you take a look to Harvard Business Review or any other textbook, the key leadership literature today is pre-digital. It's still from the 90s, And there isn't this one new concept replacing what is currently taught in business schools. Every organization, and this is a big challenge for HR, because HR of the future is going to be about people and data, people analytics. We can literally, like the smartphone example, we can track literally anything. We can track people's behavior over the social network, and from that derive, are these persons likely to change jobs? There's a high linkage if you change your LinkedIn profile picture and that you're on a way out of your company within the next 8 months. And we have this types of correlation analytics already available today. It means we as HR, particularly operating in the European Union, we have to be careful about the data. It's opportunity, but it's also obligation to take care about employee-related data. And all this means, for all companies, ambidexterity. How to continue my regular business, we call this the blue world. I know we had some color coding today, this morning, so we call this the blue regular world. How to cope with efficiency, with processes, with compliance, my regular business, to keep that safe, yield the money out of this, and how to set up the green world, the new ways of working, the new ways of doing business, the disruptive innovation, how to enable this. Usually, the exploitation part, the innovation part, falls down. And this is what we need to take care of. So what does it mean? It means that organizations are moving towards more complex, chaos-related theories. So the typical analysis, action, linear causality doesn't work, and it requires new ways. So as an organization, you cope with that by spin-off. You go out, you create all your spin-offs, your innovation labs to keep up with digitization and with innovation. The problem is the spin-offs create a lot of envy in the company. They create more and more, if they have fancy lofts and fancy buildings and they have new contracts and they have nicer business phones and they are the ones with the Mac phones, that doesn't change your original organization. Of course you need it, but you also need the garage, the green garage inside your corporate building. And this is one of the big challenges for HR. Is HR really able to provide this with such a model? I don't know. But I don't have the answer, what is the better model? The thing that we are constantly discussing is this model, is this really facing and coping the challenges for HR in the digital age? And for sure, every one of you has this model in the one or the other notion. So do we have the right recipes? I'm seeing a lot of companies now going on, they create a creative space, they hire a chief digital officer, they extend, they do a partnering on e-learning. This is all right, people. But if it's not connected, then HR is saying you need to work differently, but we work throughout our silos. Because we have the one leadership team, we have the other succession team, we have the talent team, then we have the business partners who doesn't believe in the competence centers, and we have the services who think, okay, what other guys are talking about? So we have to connect all this and give this some purpose, some story, which is currently in most of the HR organizations missing. Although a lot of HR organizations focus on one of the bubbles. Either you provide tools trainings, and that's what you understand by digitalization, or we do a bit of Scrum, a bit of design thinking, hire a Scrum Master for the teams. This is then intermediate level, or we only talk about culture. I'm attending a lot of conferences where people say, okay, digital transformation is all about culture. It's all about culture. It's not all about culture. It's about technology and culture. It's always the combination. So that's why, let's say, we are trying to combine those three worlds. Often we forget, we talk about new values, we talk about curiosity, we talk about flexible organizations, but we forget, okay, what are the tools people work with, and how can we train them in doing that? So how is HR contributing to this new world, to new work, to future of work? Some of the things that we see here are familiar to you, but we might need to bundle them in a different approach in future. So this approach, at least for Deutsche Telekom, for us is, The 6 areas is our HR strategy, and as one of the key strategies, we put working in the digital age. That's why we set up an own unit, Digital and Innovation, my unit, in the same area like a competence center, like the business partner organization, to have one, let's say, disruptor. And we have things towards insight, so changing really HR, and things towards the organization, where we change the organization. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples what that means. So our mission is really to change the status quo of HR. And we are not doing this only by criticizing and only by saying, okay, competence center is not going right, HR business partner is wrong, the HR system is not working. We are doing that, but we are also accelerating. Yeah, once we criticize, we give support, we give acceleration. And this is how we want to do it. So criticizing, engaging, and to join projects with business units and with HR units, and then creating relevance and talking about it. So let me give you a couple of examples. One is we have changed the approach towards leadership. So there is a global portal for everything which is related to leadership, and it deals with exactly one thing. So top leaders, middle leaders, team managers, everyone has the same curriculum. It's all about ambidexterity. How can I, as a leader, drive efficiency, but also become more innovative? And we do this with a lot of different formats, like fuck-up nights, like every other thing, but it's combined to a purpose. It's combined, you need to be more innovative. We make use of technologies. We have a leadership app, and we provide small nuggets to the leadership team, because usually leaders don't take one day, don't go into a one-day workshop, don't go into a two-day workshop, even less if it's offered by HR. So what we do, they have an app. Our leaders and your leadership team for sure as well, they use the mobile phone 400 times per day. This is the most important leadership tool in our company. And HR to date was never present on this mobile device. Now we are, and we can give them inspirations. We are not giving them emails, this is the new policy, this is the new regulation, this is the new training curriculum. We're trying to give them experiences. So what we learn from the outer world, from marketing, it's not about products, it's about experiences. We're trying to do inside the HR organization as well. One of the experiences is every one of the leaders, by the way, we are not pushing. Our approach is totally pull. We offered, do an assessment. We created this assessment on our own, 8 categories. How digital ready are you as a leader for the digital challenges? And they could do a self-assessment. Surprisingly, a lot of people took off. They went into the assessment. And out of the assessment, we gave them recommendations. Go into this workshop and learn more about digital detox, dealing with paradoxes. And I talked about the way how we approach them is not workshops, is not seminars. We do meetups. If you know, do you know Carpool Karaoke, James Corden, YouTube? Yeah. So we copied that. We put leaders into a nice Tesla, a moderator, and then they talk about their personal story, and they talk about innovation. They talk about digitization. It's really fun to watch the videos for the ones who did, and also for the ones who are watching that. So we have our own, and by the way, I identified fantastic talents. I have my own James Corden now in the company who's running those moderations. We act as a think tank. So we are giving a lot of studies, a lot of research, a lot of corporations, because you need to be conceptually ahead. And we want to be ahead. We have provided a paper in regards to the recent election in Germany to influence decision-making on workers' law in Germany. Whom of you in your companies is using an agile coach, external, Kanban, design thinking, Scrum Master? Are you having any experience with that? Only a few. If you use it, and if that is a freelancer, you are already in breach of European law. That's why we need to, let's say, out of our HR function to manage that. We are providing design thinking. This has become our way of thinking. Start with a real business problem, engage users, go into prototyping, learning mode, fail, iterate, learn, test, fail, 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 until you go into the big scale. So moving away, literally in anything we do in HR. In anything we do in HR. Let me give you a couple of examples. Strategic skill management, design thinking workshop. How do we identify the strategic business skills for us in the future? And the outcome was something like this one that you see here. So left side design thinking workshop, right side prototype. How leaders can very easily, go into a kind of experience-based mode to identify future skills. We are creating a digital health guide to oomph our health offerings with a digital solution, so people get assisted in future by maybe something like a chatbot that they can use. And we are probing with a new way of performance management, so to go towards feedback app. I skip that one with respect of time. Digital literacy, we have reverse mentoring, so we have identified a pool of Gen Y people in the organization, not HR. Can be HR, but not necessarily. So young people which are firm with Snapchat, Twitter, social media, SharePoint, WebEx, and other tools. So teaching leaders in our company in the reverse mentoring approach. We are very much focusing on communities. So what the Deloitte Trend Study says, new ways setting up communities, but you need to have those communities. We are probing in HR with VR, with virtual reality as a new way for training and for onboarding. We are going into digital learning with massive open online courses, partnerships with Udacity, Skillsoft, and others. So to provide people access, non-biased and free access for every employee to digital tools. Today, right now, in an hour, we have a public board meeting. So we are streaming in our corporate Facebook, in our corporate social network, our board meeting, so as a new way how people interact with a company. So you see, if I talk about digitization, about technology, these are things that we use technology platforms like a social network, but we are changing culture. People getting closer to the board. We are trying to move away from those hierarchical structure. You're only allowed to talk to the next hierarchy and so on. But as HR, we take a look to technology. I have a team that takes a look to whatever on workplace and collaboration services is provided by our IT. Because they understood it's better to have HR on board, to have the user perspective. We're having a look to what the HR systems does. We give the HR system provider a hard time to create really employee experience over the tools, which is not easy. And we are doing experiments like a chatbot, how to make use of chatbots in different areas for HR. And we are a mobile company. We are a digital internet company. So what we did, very simple thing, I can really recommend it. We took the user design manual for our external customer products, like for external apps, for our external web presence. We took that and gave it to IT. Yeah. So please, dear IT, dear HR IT, if you create digital products, please make them look good. This one, fascinating stuff. We're using artificial intelligence to do data crawling over job postings, over job announcements of leading digital companies. What type of skills did the people have that were hired in order to identify future trends? So it's a fascinating area of analytics and artificial intelligence, which is very relevant for HR of the future to cope with skill management, as one example. We do conferences for our HR people where we confront them with technology. Unfortunately, time is running out. I would have shown you the video, but so this is our instrument for change, having tech conferences for our people. And the last one, my recommendations. I think it's worth that HR engages in technology. I think it's worth that HR is really finding a new coalition with IT, with marketing, with the strategic functions. But my recommendation is really start small but start. Take one project, create relevance, create experience, but start small but start. The role of HR in the digital age is different to the role of finance and IT in the digital age. Our role must be to create human-centric digital experiences. And a couple of things, I hope, have given you some flavor how one could do it. But we shouldn't go into activism. So the things that we do, creating new creative spaces, introducing a new method, hiring new people, they should be connected together. So connecting the dots is important. And if we introduce a new feedback app, introduce a new skill management approach, have a new system in place, you need to kill something else. Otherwise, you're killing your company with complexity, and people complain, this is again sophisticated HR, over-engineering things. Final remark, the setup of my team, I use people throughout the entire organization. HR, IT, communications, marketing, and so on. There's a lot of talent, I believe, in every company. I didn't need it to hire any externals. So trust in your own people. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.